There now. Isn't it a good job I didn't give it to Ragman? I very nearly did,
I wish
you know.
you had. I wouldn't have had to go then. No decent Ragman to take this anyway. But my sleeves halfway up my flipping arms. How am I going to feel walking down this street? I'm not a proud fella, you know that.
Well, you can't use your other one for humping coal, Chuck. I'd never get it clean again.
I shouldn't be humping cause a young fella's occupation, that.
Ah, well, never mind, love. Something'll turn up. You say if it doesn't.
Look, in 5 years' time, I shan't be able to hump coal. What am I going to do then? That's what I want to know.
Things will take a turn, love.
Stanley, never thought you'd sink to that level.
Sink to what?
Hiring yourself out as a scarecrow.
Ah, you take no notice, Stan.
I'll take no way, won't lie with some belt up.
Now, don't lose your sense of humour, Stanley.
Listen, mate, my sense of humour is very thin, Fairclough. Very thin at the moment. I'll be happy you joked about someone else, see? Oh, love.
Ta-ra, love.
And what have I done now?
You've opened your big mouth without using your big head, that's what. Can't you see he's embarrassed? Maybe funny to you, but it's not funny to him, you know. You want to try it yourself sometime. He's up to here with it, is my Stan, and all you can do is crack jokes.
Jerry, just kick me where it'll hurt the hardest, will you? What are you doing?
Well, I asked you what... I did what you asked me to do. What, was you joking or something?
Oh?
Oh, can I come in, Mrs. Tanner?
Yes, Jerry, do come in. Hey, can you tell me, is that clock right?
I'll make it 10 minutes fast.
Well, strangle our Dennis, he can't move anywhere without that clock being 10 minutes fast.
You hurt me.
Oh, dear.
Oh, did it have a little hurty then?
He kicked me.
Well, let me rub it better.
He kicked me.
Oh, well, you can rub it yourself in that case.
I'll plug this wall at the back here.
Hey, Len. Where's our Dennis working, you know?
Well, he's putting roots up on a slate. Slates on a roof, rather. In Gas Street, according to me.
Oh, he'll be happy about that. He's been playing Mary Harry about working outside.
Well, you know us, darling. We take the rough with the smooth in our job. We've got a very democratic way of doing it, too. He does the rough and I do the smooth.
I can't get over that.
No, it's quite simple, love. You see, he's got a boss. And the boss tells him what to do.
Oh, I don't mean that, you crater. I mean, that little fellow that was in the room with you the other night.
Aye, aye.
No, well, I was curious, wouldn't you be?
Not really, love, no, because I get a bit bored with having to chase away all these gorgeous creatures who want to attack me, you know.
Oh, he wasn't attacking me. At least if he was, he went a very funny way about it, that's all I can say. No, but he said something, now I finished it, and I was interested. Why wouldn't you be?
Well, perhaps he was shy, like me.
Oh, that's all.
Isn't it true, though? I am shy, and deep down, I am
Oh,
shy.
he's shy, all right, Mrs. Tanner. Shy of work. Am I supposed to be doing this job on my own or what?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know it was the madam. Don't suppose you did either, did you?
Well, I would have done, love, because Adam's got skin colour there, hasn't he?
Oh, you are no help at all, are you?
Now, stop worrying about it.
It's not that worrying, it's just... Well, it's niggling me, that's all.
No, don't. It's straight up, darling. He's just a fella on the make.
Oh, perhaps he was worshipping you from afar, Mrs. Tanner.
Thank you very much, Jerry. You can put it much better than he does.
You need some more polish, Mrs. Ogden. Mrs. Ogden, do you need some more polish?
Oh, yeah, I'll have a cup if you're brewing.
I don't think you heard me, did you, dear?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Mrs. Walker. I was just thinking, you know.
I thought you seemed rather far away. I asked you if you needed more polish.
Oh, no, I've got enough to finish off with. Some folks just can't leave you alone.
Well, come on, dear.
Len Fairclough this morning making jokes about my Stan when he was going to work. It doesn't help matters, you know, Mrs. Walker. It doesn't help at all.
Of course it doesn't. And I know that man. He can be very offensive. Oh, yes. I've seen it.
It takes a bit to get Stan going at the best of times, you know.
Yes, I can believe it.
What he needs is a bit of encouragement, not having fun poked at him.
Precisely. You know, dear, it is astonishing to me how many people lack tact, not to say good manners. It's appalling.
Nay, get away with you. Len's a mate of his. He'd only be pulling his leg.
That may be your opinion, Jack, but Mrs. Ogden and I happen to know different, don't we, dear?
He can be very nasty, can Len Fairclough, Mrs. Walker. He's got a streak in him.
Yes, and the base of it is very simple. He is just not a serious-minded person, and goodness knows why the electors didn't see that for themselves.
Well, he didn't get my vote, Mrs. Walker. You got my vote, and I think it's a great pity most people didn't do the same.
Would you like a cup of tea, dear?
Oh, well, I wouldn't say no.
Shall we go through to the living room? I think we've earned a break, don't you?
You know, he's not what you could call a gentleman.
Of course he is.
Now, how the heck did that come about?
What?
This is supposed to be an empty and it's all full.
Oh, well, it's like some folk you come across. You think there's an out there, and you suddenly find you've not been looking closely enough. You know, I've just been down to that there Social Security office again. I'm getting quite pally with that fellow what come round, Mr. Hale. He makes you feel you're doing him a favour just going in.
Well, happen your love. If nobody went, he'd be out of business, wouldn't he?
They're going to trace him, our Vera's husband.
I'm very glad to hear it. As I said, it's his responsibility, not yours.
Ah, well, I brought her into the world. The least I can do is see her out. Do you reckon they'll find him?
Oh, I reckon they will. I mean, he's bound to have his cards lodged somewhere. They've got us all tabbed and taped nowadays, you know.
Has its uses, I've no doubt. I had a bit of laugh with the fella down there. I couldn't help it. He come up with a card for another Ina Sharples. Somewhere round about the same age and all. You wouldn't think there were two like me, would you? Can't help having a joke sometimes, can you?
And let the rest of the world go by. Fair Club and Booth, the singing plumbers.
Yeah, well, let's concentrate a bit more on the plumbing and a bit less on the warbling, eh?
Do you both take milk and sugar?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Hey, we've forgotten our pipeline.
What's that?
Well, we got a sort of a pipe, you see. Look, we stick one end in the teapot and the other end in his gob so that he can sew and sup at the same time. It's no good. You'll have to have a tea break like a normal chap, Booth.
Belt up. I'm coming and ready and not a four.
He's got his peculiarities, this fella, but he gets on with it, you know.
I think maybe Bob would have been better if he'd had his own business. You know, he never seemed to like any of the jobs he had. Goodness knows he had enough of them.
Perhaps he'll settle down to it one of these days. I mean, look at me. I was a right tearaway at one time, and look at me now. Council of Flipping Fair Club. And it's still the same ugly mug in the mirror.
Yeah, leopard doesn't change its spots.
That's enough from you, big ears.
Don't see Bob ever settling down. Anyway, it's too late now.
What do you mean, love?
Oh, I wouldn't like to go back to what I had. No, I've made up my mind to it, living on my own, I mean.
Well, I thought you wanted him back.
Me? I never want to see him again. Whatever makes you think I want him back?
Well, I don't want to jump any guns, but your ma asked me to help you trace him.
Help me trace him? My mum?
That's a nice tub of beer, is that, missus?
How very kind of you to say so. Of course, it's really my husband who deserves the credit.
You keep a good cellar, landlord.
Oh, thanks very much, lad. Most people don't pass any comment until it's getting near to tender barrel, you know. You working round here, then?
No, I'm not working anywhere at the moment, I'm sorry to say.
Ah, there's a good few round here in the same position, lad.
I'm not the only one where I come from, neither.
You're not from this area. I thought I hadn't seen your face here before.
And I was in here last night, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
Just visiting, you know, just visiting. I've got a granny down in Bessie Street. 85 she is. She brought me up on her own, you know, when I was a little lad. I'd been away from stray if it hadn't been for my gran.
Some old people are absolutely wonderful, aren't they? Hello, dear.
Mr. Walker, have you seen my mum?
not since early on this morning, love.
No, she's been out since early this morning. She's up to something, I know she is.
Well, she's at Mrs. Caldwell's.
No, she's not, because I've been round there.
Hey, are you all right, love?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Is there anything I can do?
If she does come in, will you tell her I want her, please?
Ah, of course I will.
Right, thanks.
Jack.
Jack!
Anybody working?
Mr. Ogden, not again.
Oh, so I'm in my muck, love.
Well, surely they provide showers and things.
No, love, only muck. I'm going back after dinner, you see, so no sense in washing it up, is there?
No, but you've no need to lean on the bar counter, have you?
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Can I have a pint, love? That just gets on your tonsils, you know.
You a collier then?
No, mate, no. Filling coal bags, you know. Earning a bob or two between jobs.
Ah, you and me both.
You the same boat?
Yeah, rough, isn't it?
Rough, I'll say it's rough, aye.
Hey, me upper came away from my soul on Monday. Had to borrow some gum to stick it together, can you tell?
You couldn't tell if you hadn't told me, mate.
I walked 2 miles flapping like a penguin.
You having one?
Aye.
Jerry, come here.
Oh.
What's Chelsea having done?
Oh, a new sink unit.
Blimey, they're splashing the money around in there, aren't
Oh,
they?
is there anybody serving in your place?
Yeah, me husband. If you're going in, tell him I'm stopping to watch the show, will you?
He'll understand what you mean, I suppose.
Yes, my mum and dad, when he gets home for his dinner, I'm not kidding, it's worth 5 bob of anybody's money to see him the way she goes on with him. Honest, you'd think he was fresh back from the trenches. I won't care, he's only done half a day's work.
Well, it gives her a bit of pleasure, I suppose.
Oh, it does. Do you know, she's nobody but herself to blame for what
Yeah,
she
well,
is, you know.
I'll tell Dave that you're right in that.
About time time you got back and all, my mum's done you a gorgeous dinner, so just show your appreciation, will you? Mum is here!
You can't beat a family life, can you?
Ah, does its points, too. Are you blessed, then?
Me? Oh, no. No, I'm on my own.
Margie, it's not all beer and skittles, mate. Still, as I say, that's its points. I'll see you.
All right, ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
Hey, you!
Me, missus?
Yeah, didn't you start to say something to me in the rowers the other night?
Well, yes, I did, as a matter of fact.
Ah. Well, now's your chance to finish it. Very curious, we women. We don't like things being half said. Well?
Yeah, well, I didn't like to say to you what I had to say in public, Mrs. Tanner.
Oh, well, that's easily solved, Mr.
Bridge.
Yeah. Well, suppose you step inside and say it in private. Eh, Mr. Bridge?
Thank you.
Jack,
All right.
do you think that it's going to be as bad as it was all those years ago?
Is what going to be as bad?
The employment situation?
Nay, if I knew the answer to that, I wouldn't be standing here now, would I?
Well, I was only asking your opinion, love.
Well, if you want my opinion, I don't think it is.
Oh, really?
No, if you want my opinion, for some of us, it's going to be worse.
Oh, no, Jack, really, I can't agree with you there.
You wanted my opinion, didn't you?
Yes, love, but
Then
still...
shut up while I give it. I'm not talking about numbers. If you ask me how many folks are going to be out of work, I can't tell you. And I don't suppose there's anybody else that can tell you either. But for them that are out of work, how do you think they feel with what's going on around them, eh? All this money that's been spent at Christmas, all this stuff that's dangled in front of them on the telly and they can't afford to buy it. I know how I should feel.
Well, then, in that case, love, surely they'd be better off without the television.
Hey, nay, Annie, love, have a heart.
Well, I'm only giving you my opinion. I felt very concerned about that poor little man who liked your beer.
He seems very capable to me. I reckon he's got guts as that little fella.
I shouldn't have come.
Oh, I can quite believe it. But you have. So let's be having it, shall we?
Can't bring myself to it.
Oh, well, don't rush. There's plenty of time. If you'll excuse me while I eat my dinner in front of you. While you bring yourself to it, that is.
Cozy in here, isn't it?
Expect you'd like to take your coat off and make yourself at home, would you?
Oh, no, I just meant it.
I see.
I'm sorry I upset you.
Oh no. You've not upset me. I'm not upset at all. I'm just curious, which is far worse, believe me.
Well, no, I was having a drink in the pub, you see, and I heard somebody mention your name, and, well, I thought I knew you, that's all.
And now you realise you don't?
Well, yeah.
No, well, you'll have to do better than that, love.
No, it was a name, see? It rang a bell. Or at least I thought it did.
Oh, I was wondering when we'd get round to bells. No, love, look, you've made a terrible mistake. We have nothing in common at all, believe me.
You don't think I'm after you or out like that, do you? Oh, no, it's nothing like that, honest, Mrs. Tanner.
Well, there's no need to say it like that. It has happened, and it's still happening, I'm very glad to say. But what else can I think when you won't tell me what you've come about?
We should have said now.
Oh, come on, don't start that again. Let's be having it, love, come on.
Your little grandson.
Paul, what about him?
It was me that...
Go on.
It was me that pulled him out of the canal.
You?
I said I shouldn't have come and I shouldn't. I'm sorry, Mrs. Tanner.
Mr. Bridge, love, don't go. Come and sit down. Why didn't you tell me? There's nobody more welcome in this house than you are.
Will you go up and have some cod while I was out?
Yes, it's on dresser.
Put it on a plate. Why did you ask Glenn Fairclough to trace Bob? Oh, so you found that out?
Yes, of course, I found it out. Fancy doing a thing like that. Asking another fella to trace me husband.
I didn't intend you to know.
No, I can well believe that. And don't you think I don't know why you did it, neither? Because you thought you'd get him to take me back, didn't you? Well, it's not on, and that's straight.
I never thought it was on.
Oh, you could have me certified and put away before I'll go back to him.
It was Colin I wanted to trace. I reckon I've a right to see my own grandson.
Oh, since when have you cared about our Colin? Apart from spoiling him to death.
What folk care about, and what other folk think they care about. When I leave this world, he's going to be all that's left of... Oh, God, give me strength.
You don't count me, I suppose.
Luke, love.
Oh, anyway, I'll find somewhere else to go. It's all right. I know you can't wait to get rid of me, but just have to wait while I'm able, that's all.
You can stay as long as you want, you know that.
Oh, I know. Flesh and blood, duty. What shall it be to our Colin when I've gone that brought him into the world? What does flesh and blood count in the end?
More than you think.
Does it? And what would I be to you, ma'am, if I was to go?
Look, I've had enough of this daft talk. What am I going to do with that fish? Grill it or
Oh,
steam it?
I hope rather than answer.
You'd be the little lass I brought into the world. That I loved and watched over. That was all the comfort I had in it when your dad died. That's what you'd be to me.
I'm a far cry from that little lass now.
Are you? Are any of us? I wonder which moves faster. The world changing us or us changing the world. It can't be all our fault.
Oh, Ma'am, my head's gone off again. I'm going to lay down.
Look, you know, you'd be far better if you try and have a bit of something to eat.
No, I can't. Don't go on at me, ma'am.
I'm not going on at you, love. It's not what we say to each other that matters. It's what we do for each other.
Well, can't get over it. Fancy you pulling him out like that, eh?
Ah, it was a grand dinner, that, Mrs. Tanner.
Ah, you're welcome. Hey, but what happened to you after you pulled him out? Where did you get off to?
Well, I went to dry out with my grands. I was on my way there when it happened.
Just like that, eh?
Well, yeah.
Ah, you're a grand little fella. I'm glad you enjoyed your dinner.
Oh, I didn't even say thank you proper, did I?
Look, I told you there's no need to say thank you to me. I told you what that little lad means to me. I only wish I could help you find a job, that's all.
Ah, well, someone will turn up.
Ah, you're a great little optimist and all, aren't you?
No point in being anything else, is there?
No, you're right there. Here, look, love. Stick that in your pocket, will you?
£2.
Ah, now, look. What did you come round here for? Now, don't be embarrassed. Come on.
Well, I suppose I must have thought it happened at a ward or something.
Ah, I know. And I bet there's not a great many people ready to help you find a job, are there?
Well, no, but I mean, £2.
No, don't argue about it. Take it as a loan, if you like. Pay me back when you're fixed up, eh?
I don't like.
Shut up. Now, I can't argue. I'm going to be late for work, but I'll tell you, most sincerely, next time you're round here, give us a shout, will you? Ta. More potatoes, love?
No, thanks.
A few more carrots?
No, thanks.
Well, how about to drop more gravy to help it down?
No, love.
You know, Father, I think you've found the answer.
Huh?
All that stuff you're shoving away, and yet, to me, like, you seem to have lost it overnight.
Lost what?
Wait, you have found the answer. It's work.
Leave your dad alone. He had enough of that from Len Fairclough and them.
Oh, I'm not being funny, Ma'am. I meant it.
Now, that's enough. You ought to be proud of him. There's not many fellas that put up with what he's putting up with.
You're right, though.
Never mind, Chuck. I appreciate it, even if nobody else does. I'll get you pudding.
Pudding? I've got no room for pudding.
She'll not let you leave it if she's to stuff it down herself. What does it feel like to be an hero, Father?
All right, you laugh, but it's hard on me. You're going to all this trouble. Suppose I want to pack it in.
Oh, I thought there might be a bit of that floating about.
I'm too old for big cold bags. I'm not the build.
No, I noticed that, and it must be very hard for you choosing whether to go to work or to face my mother. I mean, she's that changeable, isn't she? And we wouldn't want the sun to go down now, would we?
There you are, love. And there's plenty more where that come from.
Hey, I'm sorry if I woke you up, Mrs. Sharples. Were you having a bit of a nap?
No, lad, I was just having a bit of a quiet minute.
I had your beer in this dinner time looking for you, so I thought it best to nip across and see if you got back.
Oh, so she called on you after she found out, did she?
Found out what, love?
Well, then Fairclough let it drop about me trying to trace Bob Lomax.
Hey, well, he wasn't to know, was he?
Of course, I got round it by kidding on it was our Colin I wanted to trace.
Must be a bit of a puzzle to know what to say, I'm sure.
It's all a puzzle to me, lad. I've been sitting on this couch for the past hour and it's been going round and round and round in my brain like a spinning top.
Aye.
What's it all mean?
Nay, if I could tell you that, lass, I'd be a wiser man than I am, wouldn't I?
Do you know what she said to me just before she went in there to lie down? What would I be to you, Mum, if I went first?
Nay, did she say that?
She married the wrong fella, you know.
Oh, well, there's lots of others do that.
Well, he expected to carry on after he was married like he did when he was single. I'm not talking about other women, though. There may be one or two of them for all I know. No, he never settled down right, didn't Bob Lomax? I never remember him suited with a single job, and goodness knows he had plenty.
Oh, it takes all sorts to make a world, Mrs. Sharples.
Well, I can't hold out against her much longer. You know, there have been times this last 2-3 days when I've wished it was all over and done with. Does that shock you?
No, it doesn't. We've all got us breaking point.
Yes. And I've pretty well reached mine. You know, this last few days, I've been closer to her, in spite of all that's been said, than I have been for years. And I'm not able to tell her. I can't reach out and touch her. It's been a burden to me as that.
Hey, why don't you come over to us for about half an hour, eh?
It's very good of you, but I think I'd better stay here until she wakes. She never liked the dark, you know. You can send Lucille over with a drop of brandy. I'd be obliged. I'll get my purse.
Nay, there's no need for that. We can settle up another time.
I'll never have the wherewithal to settle up for all you've done for me, Jack.
Hey, I wish I could do more, lass.
I believe you mean it, too.
Hello, mate. Hey, look.
Well, yes, sir, as a matter of fact. Not sort I was looking for, no.
Oh, me neither. Oh, this is the missus.
Percy.
Oh, how do you do, Percy?
There you are, Mr.
Bridge, Mrs. Bridge. Take it out, that, will you?
Yes, I will indeed. No more trouble with Len Fairclough, Mr. Elton?
Trouble, then?
Well, I was telling Mrs. Walker about what went on this morning.
Oh, you mean any more cracks?
Yes, well, the thing to do, as I was telling your wife, the thing to do with that gentleman is to ignore him. Simply ignore him.
Oh, Len's all right, Mrs. Walker.
Well, after what he did this morning? Oh, no, not having that, Stan. You weren't very pleased yourself.
Well, it's getting me down. I mean, this job's too heavy for me, you know. I mean, it's taking all the enjoyment out of life. Now, you take a pint, for argument's sake. You sup it now because you need it. Now, where's the pleasure in that?
You know, he always was very loyal, was my Stan. You got to admire him for it.
Loyalty can be misguided, Mrs. Elton.
Hello, me gorgeous creature. Give us a couple of pints for two thirsty workers, will you?
Certainly, Councillor Fairclough.
Oh, hey, it's nice to see you, Stanley.
Oh, belt up, Fairclough.
Hey, Stan, he's at it again.
Oh, not at all. I said it was nice to see him, and it is.
Yeah, on account of you couldn't be forecast of a muck, I
It's a
know.
thought, though, isn't it? I mean, he hasn't changed much, has
And don't
he?
you start to know, Jenny Bull, don't you
No,
dare.
it's all right, as long as we're all mates, Mrs. Ogden. Any road, he won't be doing that for much longer. Can't keep a job like that up at his age. He ain't got the strands no more.
So?
Well, face facts, mate.
Facts you want? I'll give you facts,
Right,
mate.
see.
I'll fill 2 bags to your one any time you like.
Well.
In fact, we'll do it now. In Mrs. Walker's backyard.
You'll do nothing of the kind.
This fella be referee, yeah?
All right, then you're on.
Stan, it was
Put
only
your
a
money
joke.
away,
you
What do you
mousy.
mean, Len? Please, exert your authority.
Get between them two. It's more than my life is worth. They have no respect for the council, you see, down there.
Oh, Jack, thank goodness you've come.
Pass me one of them small bottles of brandy, will you,
Later.
love?
In the meantime, will you try and reason with Mr. Ogden and Jared? They're making it impossible, suggesting.
All right, lads. Whatever it is, do me a favour. Pack it in, will you? Thanks. Now then, let's have that brandy, will you, love?
Yes,